All right, we got another maintenance video. This is on the white Ford F350 7.3 diesel. This is going to be into a little more extreme other than just changing oil and stuff like that. What we are going to be dealing with is the oil pan. We're going to repair an oil pan along with we're going to change out a torque converter and put a deeper pan on the transmission. This is oil, okay, from the engine. So over the past several thousand miles, this oil pan has created a leak, and I figured this time it's time to take care of it. Things are slow for me right at the moment, so we're going to take care of it. I've already descaled the oil pan. We've got one hole there, one there, one there, and then one all the way up top there, right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to repair that and get it taken care of. That way we're not leaking oil. Believe it or not, all this scale down here that I knocked off of the oil pan was holding quite a bit of oil inside the oil pan. Those holes are large enough now, you know, where it would just drain out at this point. In 10,000 miles, I would only go through maybe a gallon of oil, no more than a gallon. So we got her cleaned up. We're going to patch that up today using liquid steel, and we're also going to use JB Weld. So we're going to take liquid steel, we're going to put it in the holes here, and then we'll take JB Weld, we'll dress over top of that after that's dry, and then once the JB Weld's dry, we'll blow some paint on this and kind of keep this thing going for a little longer. You guys are probably wondering why I don't just change the oil pan. In the 7.3 truck here, we would have to actually pull the engine to swap out the pan. This truck is pushing 300,000 miles. We are less than 1,000 miles from 300,000. So we are actually just going to patch it. If I'm pulling the engine, it's because it needs rebuilt, not because of an oil pan if I can keep it. If this doesn't hold, then fine. We'll go ahead and we'll pull it and put a pan on it. But I want to try this repair first. We're going to get that taken care of and handled and, you know, go from there. Transmission's still doing fine. It is actually due for service. So we're going to go ahead and pull the transmission. We're going to put a new torque converter in it. The torque converter that's in this transmission, I believe, is just a OEM factory turbo or torque converter. So we're actually upgrading the torque converter. Plus, we're putting a deeper pan, which holds almost 2 more gallons. It's 7.5 quarts more than what this pan holds now. So that's what we're getting into. I'm going to go ahead and start working the liquid steel in the holes and see what happens. All right, so what we'll do here is we'll allow this to dry. It's been setting for about, I don't know, 10 minutes. It's still a little tacky, not very bad. They say about 5 to 15 minutes on dry time on that. We're going to actually let that set for a while. Then we're going to come in with some JB Weld, and we're going to dress all this up with JB Weld down through here. That way, if any of these other little dimples down through here decide later on in life that they want to leak, that JB Weld may hold. So that's what we got going on there. Next, we're going to go ahead and pull the plug on the transmission. Go ahead and get the transmission drained out, and we'll probably pull the pan off and inspect the inside of the pan. That'll tell me a couple things as far as life of the transmission, if anything's burned up or if there's pieces in the pan, all that good stuff. We are changing this pan out anyway. That's why the pan is definitely coming off. And besides that, you still have to take the pan off because the internal filter is right in here. So that has to come off anyway. That's what we're getting ready to do. So let's get to it. say the transmission's pretty daggone clean, by golly. Look at the fluid in there. All the little droplets. Doesn't look dirty, doesn't smell burnt, anything like that, so I think we're still good. The pan is clean. The filter.
Are you calling someone?
Yeah, the filter is not too horrible, but it is time to do a service, so it is what it is. That's the deal. So, yeah. We'll probably put the pan back on and pull the transmission.
Paranoid. Goddamn. I'm gonna throw the light rod and sitting and just shit my pants. Just shit right down my leg. I mean, what was I gonna do? Take a lighter and the fucking brake fluid?
Ain't nothing better than being in a pit with these boys.
I mean, what the hell?
Okay, we just finished up everything in here. She's ready to go for a test drive. We've got the oil pan all patched up, painted the patch, filled it up with oil, new filter, transmission pan, put a new pan on it, a deeper pan. This is an AFE oil pan for the transmission, new filter in it. We also have a new torque converter, upgraded it, and we'll talk about why we did this. All right, just finished up the job. We're going to talk about why I did what I did and, you know, go over what we did. So we ended up getting 4 holes in the oil pan from rust. We found those, got those patched up with the liquid steel, whatever it's called. I think it's liquid steel. Patched it up, let it dry and cure, and then I actually used a whole thing of JB Weld and smeared over top of that just to cover in the pits and everything else that's in the pan. Once that was taken care of, as far as here, I haven't had any issues yet. This is the first time I've been under it since we drove it. I just drove it about 25 miles, was out for about a half an hour. The truck's actually been running for over an hour. So I haven't spotted any leak out of it yet. So hopefully it holds. Time will tell. If it doesn't, we'll change out the oil pan. It's just a pain in the butt if we do, but that's all right. The other thing that we did, we ended up putting a larger transmission pan on here. 2 things had to happen. One, I was getting a little warm on the transmission. I have a digital transmission gauge in the truck, and I've noticed it getting about 5 degrees hotter, and then it went to 10 degrees hotter than it normally ran, than what it's supposed to. Typically, I like my transmission to run cool just like everybody. On these older trucks, they say 183 to 187 is normal while you're pulling a trailer. I don't like mine over 173. Typically, out on the road, running down the road, I'll be about 164, 165 loaded, going down the highway at 70 mile an hour. That's where I like my transmission temperatures at. I've noticed a little bit of a slip in first and second. Kind of pinpointed it at the torque converter was what was in my head. My gut was telling me it was a torque converter, so that's what we went with. Ended up putting a torque converter in it. Got it from Transcend. They have a website. They're cheap. They're the cheapest I've found. It's Transcend, 1S, transcend.us.com. I believe is their website. Or you can look them up, get a phone number, and call them and find out what they'll actually charge you. The other thing that we had going on was, well, anyway, you could call Transcend or get on their website and go through that spew. Torque converter was $550. $550 versus everybody else that was selling the same torque converter that I ended up with was anywhere from $850 to $1150. Transcend had it for $550 plus $100 core. The other thing, the transmission pan, we ended up swapping it out, went with an AFE deep pan and a new filter. It was time for service. I'm actually overdue for a transmission service, especially hauling. So we ended up done the service, got a deeper pan. Big shout out to my buddy John with Farm Country 4x4. He was able to get the pan for me in less than 24 hours, where everybody else was going to, it was going to take a couple days because it was a weekend. Big shout out to him, big help. Another shout out to my buddy JR for allowing me to use his pit. That's where I'm standing at today. He's got it all lit up with LED lights, real nice in here. Real simple to change the transmission torque converter out. Real simple. Another big shout out is, JR, Johnny, and Josh. They made an appearance here in the video, as you saw when I was pulling the transmission out and sticking it back in. It's always great to have your buddies around that's willing to give you a hand, with the heavy lifting. They jumped right in, no problem. So I can't thank you enough for it. All in all, I want to see this truck go, you know, 500,000 miles. We're at 300,000 now, just shy of 300,000, less than 800 miles. So we'll check with the oil pan, make sure it's fine. We just done a full service here. It's got a new filter, new pan, deeper pan, plenty of fluid, along with a new torque converter. I can tell you right now that I believe that took care of it. Truck shifts real nice. You can actually feel it shift now, whereas before it just kind of glided in. Another thing that we did was we ended up putting a new U-joint here at the tail shaft of the transmission. Got that taken care of. So all in all, we have $550 on a torque converter. We have $350 on this pan. So we're at $900 there. A couple $100 in fluid. Plus you got a U-joint and, you know, oil filter and service. We might as well just say I'm just under $1,500 for doing this major service on the truck. Well needed. The PM on this was coming. I've kind of planned for this to occur and to do this job in a way. Maybe a month or two sooner than what I originally wanted to do it. But it's before the winter time, so now I don't have to worry about doing it in the cold. Transmission jack actually makes a heck of a difference using that. So anyway, I do have other video that I'm wanting to make here real soon. With all this stuff going on as far as COVID, I've had to put things on hold and actually wait and wait and wait longer and wait some more for this video that I want to make for you, because stuff has to be fabricated. We'll make it, reveal something, we'll all be good, and we'll catch you on the next one. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, ask questions, leave comments. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching.